Hello, this is Photography Gamer, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reviewing The Evil Within for the PS4. The game is also available for the Xbox One and Microsoft Windows. The Evil Within is a third-person survival horror game developed by Tango Gameworks. You play as Detective Sebastian Castellanos, who investigates a mass murder at the Beacon Mental Hospital. The game sees Sebastian attempt to unravel a surreal and twisted story spread throughout varied and gruesome levels. So what is the game like to play? Well, the game was directed by Shinji Mikami, the creator of the Resident Evil series. So in the early stages, you'd be forgiven for thinking you're playing a new Resident Evil game. The controls aren't very fluid, but this is intentional as to create a sense of tension and danger. Stealth is probably the best way to go, as ammo is scarce and a full frontal assault will result in many deaths early on. Combat is solid with a variety of different firearms, projectiles and traps to use. If you sustain an injury, your movements are affected, which can be the difference between life and death in those tense chase scenes. But the camera is a bit of an issue in the narrow corridors. But it does add to the danger, but I feel like they could have done a better camera system. One other problem I had was the stamina level at the start. You literally can't run for more than a few seconds. It seems out of sync with you being a cop and a lazy way to make the game hard at the beginning. Enemy variety is quite vast, but mostly you'll be encountering things that seem like they're from a Resident Evil game, in particular Resident Evil 4. You can burn the bodies of downed enemies if you don't want them to come back to life, and the sheer volume of foes is quite overwhelming. And add to that the poor controls and low ammo, and it can get quite frustrating. Save rooms are spread few and far between. You can access them via a mirror and visit the hospital to use your brain juice you've collected to level up your abilities, weapons or ammo. But for me, the highlight of the game were the boss fights, with each one being as memorable and horrifying as the last. The butcher chase at the start, the chainsaw village maniac, safe head, or my personal favourite, the spider lady, who has clearly been inspired by the cult classic Ringu. Each one raises your stress levels to such a degree that each encounter becomes unforgettable. Finally on gameplay, let's discuss the game world. The narrative is very surreal and non-linear, which allows the developers to use random and unrelated locations, enemies and bosses. It does work for the most part, but after a while you feel a sense that you're just doing random unconnected missions until you reach the end and do the next one. They are still enjoyable, but not as much as those games where each level felt connected or in a sequence to improve the overall impact of the narrative. Graphically, the game is beautiful in a horrific way. The depiction of each area is well designed with good details, good structure, excellent lighting and effects. The animation perhaps though is wooden, could have been more fluid, that would have been nice. Sound-wise, the voice acting is pretty average, but the music quality compensates for that. The combat effects and general boss sounds are truly horrific, but the blissful moment you hear the delicate piano music from the nearby save rooms will ease your nerves. Okay, what's good and what's bad? What's good? The bosses are horrific. Graphically, it's gorgeous. The tension and stress are palpable. And if you're a Resident Evil fan, it feels like a random and eccentric spin-off with lots of cool moments and ideas. Also, the music and effects are exceptional. What's bad? The random levels make the experience feel a little bit disjointed, which does have a negative impact on the narrative. The controls are very slow and awkward. The lead character lacks any real charisma, and it feels more like a series of unconnected chapters as opposed to a cohesive story. So what is the verdict? The Evil Within is an excellent horror amalgamation which feels more like a series of random levels and events than a cohesive narrative. The surreal nature allows the game to explore all sorts of diverse and unconnected situations and foes. But this is also one of the weaknesses of the game. It feels disconnected most of the time. Although each level was enjoyable, it could have been better if it had been more joined up. But then again, the surreal story was probably chosen so that they could just put every horror reference in there without having to justify it in the story. So it's great for horror fans with bundles of tension and stress, but most of that comes from the awkward and cumbersome controls, lack of ammo, and overwhelming numbers of enemies. And I would say that the random levels do get tiring in the final third of the game. It just feels like the developers wanted to put too many different ideas in one game and make it a bit too self-indulgent in terms of what's actually in there. Which does hold it back, because this probably could have been the best survival horror game of all time. But it's very enjoyable, well, not enjoyable, stressful. Maybe not enjoyable is the right word. Like, this will traumatize you and drive you nuts and scare the hell out of you, but it's a very good survival horror game, but not the best one, but still absolutely worth trying. So my score for The Evil Within is 8 out of 10. Okay, that was the review. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. You can now join the channel to unlock exclusive members only videos, early access and many other benefits. To join, click on the button on my homepage. But for now, this is Photography Gamer signing off. Thank you.